After the Romans destroyed Jerusalem, it became a completely different city. The eerie grandeur of Aelia Capitolina can be felt when you walk down its ancient main street, or Cardo.
Well, Isaac, we're here in the Jewish quarter. I've walked by this place many times.
Yes.
I know that it's old, but explain to me exactly what it is we're standing in and what time of history that we're talking about here.
Hadrian decided to build here a new city. And as we said, he changed the name of the city from Jerusalem to Aelia Capitolina. Now, in the center, in the middle of Aelia Capitolina, he built this street that you see here, the Cardo. So right now we are standing in the middle of the Roman Cardo, 2nd century AD, Hadrian.
Okay.
Please remember that during Roman era, always when the Romans built new cities, in the center of every city, they had the main street called Cardo. Usually the Cardo started in the most northern part of the city and crossed the city all the way down to the most southern point. Now, the word Cardo is taken from the Latin word cuore, which in translation to English means heart. Same way as the heart is the most important part in our body, this is how the Cardo during Roman era was like the heart of every city. And by the way, even nowadays, when we say the word cardiology, the word cardiology is taken from the word Cardo. Originally, the Cardo started in the most northern part of Jerusalem of those days, Damascus Gate, and from there it continued all the way down to Mount Zion. So the pavement that we see here is originally Roman, 2nd century AD. Okay. Now, it's very interesting to see where was street level of Jerusalem, 2nd century AD, and you see where is the street level of today.
Yes.
Now, this pavement that we see here, this was the central part of the street. This was used only for the transportation of those days, which means donkeys, camels, chariots, and things like that. Now, if we please take a look this way. Now, what do we have here? In your imagination, try to imagine that along this side, western side of the Cardo, there was a very long line of columns.
Right.
On top of every column, we have the capital of the columns, and these columns supported a big roof. So the roof covered the space between the columns all the way to the cliff, which means that this place where we're standing right now, this is one of the pavement, one of the sidewalks that went along the western side of the Cardo.
And these were covered as well as all the way over there?
Exactly.
Okay.
Since this was the main street here in Jerusalem in those days, so at that time, this also was one of the main shopping centers of Jerusalem.
Okay.
So you see these two ancient arches.
Yes.
A very good example of some of the original ancient Roman shops. Now, over here, we can see more and more of the original entrances to the original Roman shops. So in your imagination, imagine that all the way along this side of the street, there were lots of shops. So this was the place where people would go shopping. Now, this is only one side of the street. 23 meters, which means 69 feet further to the east is that way, archaeologists discovered the eastern side of the Cardo.
Wow.
So 23 meters or 69 feet further to the east, the same like what we see here, but on the other side. Another long line of columns with capitals that supported a big roof, and also many more shops along the eastern side of the Cardo. Okay. So this really helps us to imagine and to understand how long, how wide, and how impressive was this Cardo that crossed the heart of Aelia Capitolina.
Yes.
Walking down the Cardo of Aelia Capitolina is always heartbreaking for me. It represents a time when Rome had officially destroyed the temple and tried to strip this city of its deep significance to Jews everywhere. Even Jewish followers of Jesus based in Jerusalem were severed from their precious city, and Christianity would never be the same.